Good afternoon, everyone. I, Anushka Jain from School of Human Settlements,
And I, Prakhar Kashyap from School of Sustainability.
welcomes you today for University Talk on the theme Sustainable Development for Viksit Bharat at 2047. The topic resonates deeply with the mission of our university, which is to nurture responsible leaders who will contribute to a prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable India. As you all know, XIM University Bhubaneswar is well known for academic excellence, educational innovation, and commitment to nation building. Sustainability is one of our core values and thus embedded in our programs and activities. In fact, we have pioneering schools with flagship programs specifically designed to develop the expertise needed for transitions to a sustainable world. Our School of Human Settlements has pioneered an unique MBA in Urban Management and Governance program for knowledge and action on policy, planning, development, management of inclusive and resilient towns and cities. This school engages with challenges in housing, transport, water and waste management, climate resilience, and smart and inclusive urban growth.
Our School of Sustainability has another pioneering program, the MBA in Sustainability Management, for building expertise on sustainable development in the country. It integrates science, policy, and practice to address critical issues of climate change, natural resource management, and social equity for sustainable future. We also have the School of Governance and Public Affairs, which nurtures leaders in public policies, governance, and administration for sustainability. The school fosters engagement with real world governance challenges and builds ethical leadership for India's democratic and developmental aspirations. Therefore, these schools embody commitment to the vision of Satat and Viksit Bharat. This is therefore an exciting occasion and a great honor to have an esteemed speaker on this very topic.
On behalf of us all and the university, we would now like to welcome our honorable guest, Shri Durga Shankar Mishra, with some flowers. We shall begin the session with lighting a lamp as a symbol of wisdom and knowledge, and to invoke blessings for a meaningful and enlightening sessions. I cordially invite our dignitaries to come forward and kindly light the lamp.
या कुन्ते शारहाला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डला या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा पिता मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती जाड्यापा शुक्लां ब्रह्मसारसार परमं आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं नां सकलां स्फाटिकमालिकां दधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Deans.
It is now my privilege to introduce our distinguished speaker, Shri Durga Shankar Mishra, a 1984 batch IS officer of Uttar Pradesh cadre. Mr. Mishra superannuated as Chief Secretary of Uttar Pradesh after an illustrious career of 4 decades in public service. He has held leadership roles in both state and union government, spanning domains such as urban development, housing, internal security, civil aviation, health, mining, tourism, sports, and agriculture. As Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India, he was the guiding force behind landmark missions such as Swachh Bharat Mission Urban, PMAY Urban, Amrut, Smart Cities Mission, DAY, NULM, and PM Swadhinidhi. He also oversaw transformative projects such as the new Parliament building and the Central Vista in Delhi. An alumnus of IIT Kanpur, Mr. Mishra also holds an MBA in International Business from the University of Western Sydney and a postgraduate diploma in Public Policy from The Hague. With numerous publications to his credit, he has represented India on multiple global platforms and continues to inspire young leaders with his vision for sustainable development. May I now invite Professor Kajri Mishra, Dean, School of Human Settlement, to formally welcome our esteemed speaker, Mr. D.S. Mishra.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our honored guest speaker for today, Shri D.S. Mishra, my dean colleagues, faculty colleagues, and my dear students. It is indeed a big honor and a pleasure to welcome Shri D.S. Mishra to speak to all of you today. I have been uh, fortunate enough to have interacted with him while he was in office as the Secretary of uh, of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and have witnessed the results of his innovations in terms of a variety of programs to improve our cities. You have just heard of his work while at the ministry, but it is also my fortune that I have had the chance to interact with him at a couple of workshops that were held to discuss about how to take our urban work forward, how to make our cities better, and what kind of ideas the ministry could take up and put into effect. And it was during that I did elicit a promise from him that he will come when we invite him. Unfortunately, it could not happen while he was in office, but we have had now the great opportunity and chance to have him with us today and to listen to him on a topic which is, of course, not just very dear to our hearts, but something that greatly concerns all of us. And as I keep saying every time I talk to you students, I that it is something that of course should greatly, even more greatly concern all of you because it is your lives ahead that will bear the brunt of decisions that your previous generations have made. So it is, I think, a very opportune time to hear from him what the government of India is thinking along these lines as we move forward to improving our or developing further on our economic growth in time for our centenary of the country. The issue is this: economic development is centered in the cities by and large for the last so many decades. Every rupee we put into our urban areas almost doubles, at least 1.79 times that the economists tell us. The multiplier effect of investments in cities is really high, which means our cities are set to grow as we try for greater and greater economic development. But the way we have built our cities, the way we have economic development, and the way we have invested in it is exactly what has brought us to this pass where we live in a world which is all growing more and more unsustainable every day, where we are at the receiving end of climate change uh, features, which are caused by the way our cities are. Almost 70 to 75% of the problem has been created in the way that our cities are. But which also means that that is exactly where we need to work to solve many of our problems. But that's not all. Of course, we have to work outside the cities equally. And that's where I think many of you are also going to be engaged. But listening to Dr. Mishra uh, in terms of what the government is thinking and what are his thoughts after decades in working on these issues, what are his thoughts about what can be possible and what needs to be done, I think is a great fortune for us today. So that when we have this kind of wisdom to guide us, it will help us think forward on our actions as we go forward. And for all of you, I think it also helps to think about the macro pictures, about the wider perspectives as you go ahead. Choose courses that you want to do, electives that you want to take, capstones that you want to do. Most importantly, the careers that you want to take up. Where do you want to work? And I think that is our great fortune that he's here with us to offer us such a macro picture and share his wisdom. So many years of observing, considering, and reflecting on these issues. With that, I again welcome Shri Mishra to speak with us and share his ideas with us. Thank you for being with us, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our distinguished speaker, Shri Durga Shanker Mishra, for the university talk on sustainable development for Viksit Bharat at 2047.
Kadri ji, Asutapa ji, and Vishwasali ji, the three distinguished deans on the dais, uh, faculty members, and my dear students from different schools of Xavier Institute of Management University. A very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you. Since now you are all ready to listen to me, I mean, you are all eager. So my request would be kindly close your copies. I am not your professor or teacher in the class where you have to take notes for writing exam. So you should be with me for the next maybe 45 minutes, and I'll throw open for next half an hour. Then I'll take any of your questions related to this subject or subject beyond it also, anything correlated. I'll take your question. Why don't you also take seat? There is a seat level right there, so you can also be attentive. Yeah. So for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to talk to you on this very important subject: sustainable development for Viksit Bharat at 2047. You must understand the subject of Viksit Bharat 2047. What is that? And then sustainable development. How do you connect both these subjects? I will start with a statement which you must have heard many times. Maybe you have quoted in your essays in your college or maybe even in the here, the world has enough for everyone's need, not for everyone's. Very famous statement, though I couldn't find from which particular text it has come from, but this is quoted quite often. But it is very has a deep meaning related to the sustainability. That there is sufficiency. The first thing is sufficiency. The world has got enough. There is sufficiency. But at the same time, next to the sufficiency, the next question is use in moderation. The world has got enough, but you cannot just get everything used so that your next generation is starving. So use in moderation. There is a thinking for your next generation. And also, nobody is left behind. The concept of trusteeship, the concept of Antyodaya. You understand the concept of trusteeship? We are all, whatever is given to us by the nature God, whatever is given to us by the nature, that is all limited. And that has to sustain for the future generations. The humanities can go on only if we use what is available to you in moderation with a clear focus on something should be left for the next generation so that they can also stay. This is a very, very important statement by our Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi. I take another statement from our Vedic text, Mata Bhumi Putro Ham Prithivyah. The earth is my mother and I am her son. This is the feeling that earth is our mother and mother is the most reverent relationship. There is no relation which is better than the mother and the child. And mother never wishes any ill of the child, and the child also is so much dependent on the mother. He takes all the energy from the mother. So mother and child relationship with the earth. So you have to use what is available with the mother. You just can't finish all the resources. You have to use it in a discrete manner so that it is available for the next generation. In fact, our Vedic texts, whether it is about the water, whether it is about the other aspects of the nature, whether it is about uh, uh, afforestation, all these things, there's so much Vedic text, various kinds of all our Vedas, you will find that it is all full of respect for the nature. And it is all weaving into the sense of sustainability. Now I come to the Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat at 2047. Let me ask you a question. Whether any of you are aware of the Panch Pran? Where does this concept of Viksit Bharat at 2047 come from? Just raise your hand. Any of you? Any of you have heard the Prime Minister speaking on 15th of August 2022 from the ramparts of the Red Fort? Any of you just please raise your hand? No? You are all very important students. You are the future leaders of India. The concept of Viksit Bharat at 2047 came from that speech. And I'll urge all of you, it is all available on the YouTube. Kindly spend some maybe 73 to 75 minutes. Hear that speech. Where the Prime Minister says, today, this is on 15th August of 2022, is the beginning of the Amrut Kal, the beginning of the golden period of Indian history post-independence. And this is going to culminate on 15th August of 2047. That is when the country celebrates its 100th anniversary of Indian independence. And this period of 25 years, this golden period, he has given Panch Pran. The first Pran is, we will all make India Viksit by 2040. So this is the first pran. The first vow in that speech is we as Indian, as a team India will make India a Viksit Bharat by 2047. This is the first pran, first vow. And this is coming from the voice of Honorable Prime Minister. This is the vow of the nation. This is all your vows that we will make our country Viksit by 2047. Now he elaborates it further. The second thing he says that said all kinds of colonial mindset. I mean, we always, I mean, for example, Kadriji was saying, I found, I mean, I had an opportunity to travel across the world in my different capacity in Government of India and the state government. I also had an opportunity to study in 3 different universities abroad for doing my MBA, for doing my master's in public policy, for doing another course longer period. And I found that we are matchless. Yet we go with a kind of inferiority feeling that we are. I mean, the moment somebody comes from, say, the white skin, you feel that he is more superior. No. It's only the 1,000 years of the colonial period, post 1000 AD, that we have lost pride in ourselves. We started respecting things which is coming from outside. So if you set this colonial mindset, then you will realize how important you are. And one simple example, which you will all understand. You are aware of the COVID 2019. See how this has, I mean, completely shaken the whole world. The world economics, I mean, economies which were considered to be the best economies, the health system which are considered to be the top 1, 2, 3, 4, has completely shaken that. And how India has come out of that COVID-19, we came victorious. We came as Atmanirbhar Bharat. We provided medicines to more than 80 countries, vaccines to more than 80 countries. We provided so many things to so many countries. India had the national infrastructure pipeline of 111 lakhs crores. That's what we did during the COVID-19. India immediately after that vowed for going for Viksit Bharat 2047. So all this has happened because you set your colonial mindset and have faith in you, you can really make that happen. The third vow is taking pride in our own legacy. We have such a rich culture, such a rich history, which we have forgotten. I was just going over in the Bhubaneswar for the last evening and today. It's a rich culture and history of Bhubaneswar. We should all take pride in it. And once you say, if our ancestors could do it 1,000 years back, 2,000 years back, Mr. Shashank is here, he was saying 10,000 years back, the Jain caves, 10,000 years back they were there. If our ancestors could do it 10,000 years back, what is that you can do? You have got immense power. That's what you should realize. Then strengthening unity, integrity, and inclusiveness. The last is doing our duty. That is being an Indian, doing our duty. These are the 5 Panch Pran through which we will make the country Viksit Bharat. And what is Viksit Bharat? I have just tried to elaborate this. First, world-class infrastructure. And that's already happening. I mean, we are only in the 3rd year of Amrit Kal. Whether it is road, rail, metro, regional rapid transport, whether it is your national waterways, national highways, think of anything. Infrastructure, the world-class infrastructure. Now we are going to have bullet train. So high-speed train, so many tracks, I mean the Vande Bharat trains, so many things are happening across the country. Now people within the much lesser economic background, they are traveling in air, Udani scheme. So this is the change in the infrastructure. The country's infrastructure is changing very fast. And maybe another 22 to 23 years, when you are the prime of your career, the country will be developed. Developed like countries like USA, Canada, Germany, Britain, I mean, such countries you will be at par with them in different things. The technological development, the way technology is developing, the way things are changing. We are in the upfront technology when it came the 5G. We are right there. Artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics, biotechnology, various aspects of biotechnology. Everywhere we are right there. Ocean technology. Did you hear the Prime Minister speaking this 15th August 2025? He spoke about mineral exploration beneath the sea. And I had a privilege of, as a Joint Secretary Mines in the year 2014, I had gone to South Korea to get one of the best exploratory ship. I mean, this is in the region from Busan. I wish such kind of ship is manufactured in our country, and they are not very far when they start manufacturing that kind of ship, which is serving our Indian PSI. So the technological innovation in the country is, I mean, the innovation, the technological development is at moving at a much faster pace. The way we have changed our UPI, the DPI, digital public infrastructure. Now the countries across the globe, they are wondering how India is moving so fast. It's all because of young youth, the people who have realized their strength. So that's how it is a technological development. Third is the socio-economic development. Social development. I mean, whether it is education, health, entertainment, various kinds of social aspects, they also have to be of the global standard. Economic development. We are already the third. We are already the fourth largest economy in the world, and in next couple of years, we are going to be the third largest economy in the world. It is projected that we will be something like 35 to 40 trillion dollar economy by 2047, and you will be at your prime age of your career. This is the period 2047. So this is how the economic and the socio-economic development is taking place in the country. Inclusive development. Nobody is left behind. The concept of Antyodaya. I mean, now the women's participation in their job market. Women's participation, I mean, now you find that you see our Republic Day parade. It is being led by a woman. Earlier we didn't have. I mean, I have served in the Home Ministry as a director and also as a Joint Secretary. Those days when we were inducting women in some part of the force, it was considered they will not be able to do it. And today you find the women is in the combat of Air Force, in the Army, in the Navy, in the all the paramilitary forces. Women have gone to our the space program. So this is inclusive development. India is changing. Now we find inclusivity in all kinds of the differences which were there. That you can't do this, you can't do that. Various kinds of things which were there, they are all changing. And the last is the global leadership. Ultimately, India has to lead the world, and it's already. I mean, you must have seen the way our honorable Prime Minister is respected across the globe, and especially the global South. India has to take that leadership. It has to speak. It has to talk. You had the G20. You saw the G20, the way it was celebrated, the way countries participated. So this is all will make Viksit Bharat 2047. I thought it is very important when I speak to contextualize on the subject of sustainable development. I wanted to contextualize, and you must do some research. And definitely, I will recommend you very strongly that you should listen to the Prime Minister's speech from the YouTube, maybe just today, just to it's a express. You spend some say 73, 75 minutes. Listen to the speech, and you will feel what Viksit Bharat is and what the country is doing for that Viksit Bharat 2047. I quote here a statement by our Honorable Prime Minister, which was given in the International Conference on Rule of Law. Here it is: anything which compromises on the ability of the future generations. The same thing which I had mentioned about the Prime Minister or Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi, meet the requirement cannot be called development. If you are only thinking of your selfish about you, this generation, me, myself, people around me, if you are just thinking about this is not the development. You have to be, akin to the nature. Nature serves everybody. Nature serves today, tomorrow, and day after. And that is what Honorable Prime Minister has focused in his speech in the Conference on Rule of Law. Another statement by the Prime Minister. This was in the Sustainable Summit 2023. The way forward is collectiveness and not selectiveness. The world is one. It is one family. Remember G20, what was the logo? Any of you can quote that? Yes, please go ahead. No, please stand up. And first introduce yourself. What's your name? And then, okay. Somebody else will try. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Logo of G20, one earth, one family.
Very good. You have tried. It's a good try, but I think something is missing. Somebody else will fill up the blank. Thank you. Good. Well done.
Welcome, sir.
Somebody else will fill up. There is something is missing. Some hand there. Please stand up. Yes, I think I can see one on the back. Please stand up, introduce yourself and speak.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Julius Musari. I am from second year MBA in Sustainability Management. Sir, it is one earth, one family, one future.
Excellent. Very good. So he filled the blank. This is one earth, one family, and one future. We just cannot segregate people here and there and say that only, this part of the world is the richest part of the world, where we use all the resources. Because we are all, it's a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one globe, one family. And this is coming from our Vedic text, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. We have one future. And it is only one earth. You see, there was a study by Mrs. Brundtland in 1987. It's a UN study. And that started the whole discourse of sustainability. This was the first time there was the Earth Summit in Rio. And this particular statement started the whole thing. Sustainability is defined as the ability to fulfill the current generation's need while ensuring that of the future generations will also be able to meet their needs. That you are also thinking about the future and not only of today. And a book which came when I was in the college, it was a very widely read book. Maybe I would recommend you to read it. It's a very interesting read. Small is Beautiful by Schumacher. This Schumacher's Small is Beautiful is the concept of, how you can use the appropriate technology to utilize only that much which is needed. You are not dispensable. So now I come with these statements. I come straight to the sustainability. When we talk about the sustainability, there are three things which come to our mind. The first thing is the planet. The planet is not there, we are not going to do. The first thing we must save the sustainability is planet means the environment. We must save the planet. The planet is there, then only we are there, or the rest of the things are there. So is the planet is the first priority. The second is the people. If the people are not there, the rest businesses, you can be MBA, you can be, you can manufacture industry, you can do any kind of service. If the people are not there, the rest of things has no meaning. That's the second priority. The third is the profit. It doesn't start the other way. You first have the profit, gain the maximum what you can do. So for example, Madam was speaking about the water sustainability. If we start extracting water, you know how much of water we have got in India? Just 4% of the global fresh water is available in India. And how much population we are surviving on that 4% water? More than 17%, close to 18%. That means our water availability is much less and consumption is much more. Consumption is much more. So you need to conceptualize on sustainability how we can save water. Every drop of water is very, very important. Maybe today you feel that I have the abundance of water, but tomorrow you have no water. Many cities have been washed away from the history only because of water. So these three P's you must remember: planet, people, and the profit. And this is also in the sustainability discourse. It is also used as a triple bottom line: environment, social, and economic. But there's another way of seeing it. This is called the V approach. The V approach is first, I like you are going to be in some business, maybe production. I as a manufacturer, the chain, the supply chain is the U, and the society and the environment is the they. So all these three things are intertwined with each other. We need to see that how we can make sure that the chain will continue. So this is what is sustainability is. He said one earth, one family, one future. There is always a trade-off. What I should do, and ultimately the objective should be how we can sustain the world to continue. Some of the things which I'm giving this task to you, you can do some research because I don't have time to go more details on this. The Kyoto Protocol. When you talk about the sustainability, this is one thing which is widely discussed. Like Greenland statement, as I said, you can do some more research on it. You will find a whole lot of things. So the Kyoto Protocol, the Rio Earth Summit, 2012. This was a time when the whole world leaders, the leaders from all across the world, it was a summit. They all gathered together in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and they discussed about the future of the earth. They started this. This was the thing where we started the concept of sustainable development goals. The UN Framework Convention on the Climate Change, the Conference of Parties, the famous COP21, where that this is intended nationally determined commitments, that the concept was started from there in the COP21 and COP26. Our Honorable Prime Minister gave some statement which I think I've summarized in the next one. The Sustainable Development Goal. I think you must have read about Sustainable Development Goal, which speaks about hunger, the poverty, sustainability, water, planet, the, the sea, the health. I mean, all aspects related to the human life. The different goals, the 17 different goals are there. They are further sub-broken into various sub-goals, and how we can make sure there are targets for 2030. How in the 15 years the world will catch so that this planet will continue, the people will continue, and also the profit will continue so that there is a business, this whole thing will continue. The COP26, which I mentioned, where was this COP26? Any of you can guess? Yes?
Glasgow.
Glasgow. Okay, and where is Glasgow? Where is Glasgow?
UK, sir.
Okay, good. So this Glasgow, this is a famous statement by our Honorable Prime Minister, the Panchamrit. I mean, here was this in this COP26, Prime Minister committed that by 2070 there will be net zero emission in India. This is a huge challenge, and for all of you, when the Prime Minister commits this before the world community, it becomes immediately it's a responsibility on all of us, and especially those who are in the positions of responsibility to make sure that the country moves in that particular direction. Net zero emission. What do you mean by the net zero emission? When you say it's a carbon emissions, any of you can elaborate? What do you mean with the carbon emissions? Any of you? Well, you are students of sustainability, you must have read about the carbon emissions. What is constituted in the carbon emissions? Yes, please go ahead. Can somebody send a mic? Yeah, here, right here, here. Okay, you can give it there.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Saptanshu. I'm from second year MBSM. So carbon emissions is the amount of carbon that is emitted from any source. Comes under three scopes, scope 1, 2, and 3. 1 being what's directly in your boundary, 2 being what's through your energy purchases, and 3 being what is indirectly emitted.
So be more specific.
Carbon emission is the amount of emissions is the amount of GHG that is actually going into atmosphere.
GHG is the
GHG
greenhouse
is
gas.
greenhouse gases. Yes.
What constitutes in the greenhouse gases?
There are 6 greenhouse gases. So, now there are 7 greenhouse gases.
Okay, let him continue. Let him continue. Anybody can add to that. Yes, go ahead, please. Please go ahead. No, no, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Devashish Paikra. I'm a second year MBSM student. So, according to GHG protocol, there are 7 greenhouse gases: CO2, CH4, N2O, HFCs, PFCs, SF6, and NF3 is the latest addition.
Okay, and what emits all this? What are the specific sources which emit all this?
Transport, industrial emissions. We have urban infrastructure, so housing and buildings. The agriculture is the major contributor of CH4.
Yes, and a lot of factories, whether it's steel factory or whether it's a cement factory, a lot of things which are emitting the powerhouses. Okay, good. So this emission has to become the net zero. When you say 1 ton of emission, what is 1 ton of carbon emission? Can you guess 1 ton of carbon emission? I thought, you will all be knowing this. 1 ton of carbon emission. We talk in terms of billion tons of carbon emissions, which you are quoting here. When you say 1 ton of carbon emission, what is that 1 ton of carbon emission? It's nearly 27 feet cube. If you take 27 feet cube and if it is a carbon dioxide, that is 1 ton of carbon emission. So you can guess and how much of the carbon is there in terms of the carbon dioxide and the CH4 and various other nitrous oxide and all those things which you are mentioning. So this carbon emission has to become net zero. And it is possible, one, either there is no emission, or if there is an emission, that is also absorbed. So either you absorb it or you don't transmit it. And all those factors which are emitting, you have to keep on reducing their emission levels. At the same time, you have to develop such kind of afforestation or such kind of things which can absorb all those emissions, and then you will come to the net zero. Because today the climate change is one of the biggest danger to the society. What is happening in various areas? You mentioned about the urban areas. Urban area, you can see the flooding. Every day on TV you must be seeing the flooding. One, why the flooding is there? Flooding is there because of now there is a splash rains. Rains comes with a high intensity, and the drainage system has not been prepared. This has not been built in a manner so that you will take so much of water. If it cannot be taken away, then it all floods the urban areas. There is also the heat waves. Urban area, you find urban area becomes a lot of heat traps are there in the urban areas. So this climate change because of the carbon emissions. Now the whole world is aware about it, and we need to take action. And there, the Honorable Prime Minister has given a commitment that by 2070 we'll get to the net zero emission. But also he has given sub targets. By 2030, we will have the non-fossil fuel energy capacity of 500 gigawatts. This is one of the targets which are given in the Panchamrit. Non-fossil fuel. That means something which does not emit carbon. Things like hydro. All the non-renewable sources, solar, wind energy, such kind of energy, nuclear energy. So such kind of energy will contribute to non-fossil the 500 megawatt by 2030. Also meeting 50% of the energy requirement through the renewable sources by 2030. That the countries, what is the total country's requirement? Currently, we are producing around around 480 gigawatt. And if you have heard Prime Minister speaking on the 15th August 2025, he mentioned that 5 years ahead of our target, out of 480 plus, we are already we are producing more than 240 gigawatt to the renewable energy sources. So this is a major achievement country is proud of. Reducing the total carbon emission by 1 billion tons by 2030. Already, this is being monitored by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, and also it is not one ministry. It's a multiple departments, the multiple ministries. They will all. The Ministry of Environment and Forest is the coordinating ministry. What kind of action you are taking on the transport, what kind of action you are taking in the urban sector, what kind of action you are taking in the heavy industries. Different kind of action in the power sector. There's a power ministry. What kind of action you are taking in different places, so that either the sink is improving or emission is reducing. Now I am just going to share with you some of the initiatives which are being taken, environmental initiatives. I just mentioned to you more than 50% which came in the news immediately after 15th of August. The way country is, there is a national hydrogen mission. Honorable Prime Minister announced in this 15th August speech that country is going to make tenfold of the nuclear energy. Currently, our nuclear energy is around say 9 gigawatt. We are going to produce something like 100 gigawatt by 2047. Nuclear energy, for the first time, it is being the micronuclear. For the first time, the private sector has been given opportunity to work in the nuclear field. There are a lot of policy level changes are happening so that we can have more of nuclear. There is a lot of policy level changes so that there is more of the solar. Most Bijli Ghar, what is the Sur Yojana, that PM Saur Yojana, through which all the rooftops, that you get so much of rooftop solar energy. So there is a wind program, wind mission is there, so that the wind power, we can have more and more of wind power. So there is a specific mission or a specific program from the central government, incentives, so that all this renewable energy is increasing, and it will make it, almost like the target is 100 gigawatt by 2047 of the nuclear energy. Something like 1800 gigawatt of solar energy by 2047. So we produce so much of energy through the renewable sources, so that we offset the emissions which are coming through the carbon sources of the fossil fuels. This is again announcement coming through the 15th August speech that the country will be Atmanirbhar in electricity by 2047. Today, our major import is coming from the petroleum products. If we convert our transport into say it is a solar driven, or maybe electrical driven, or maybe hydrogen driven, the green hydrogen energy is driven, so all that cost will come down. We don't have to import so much of oil, and that is why there was an announcement that we are going for also looking for the various kinds of mineral resources on the sea. Some of the special measures which are being taken is the National Solar Mission, which I already mentioned. There's a huge solar parks, whether in Gujarat, Rajasthan, various other states. I was Chief Secretary of Uttar Pradesh. We declared Ayodhya as the solar city. We had a 50 megawatt of solar production in Ayodhya, so that we make it self-sustainable. This city of Dew, which is completely, it's a 100%, is totally either wind or solar, dependent on that. So the country is working on the Ladakh. The country is working on such things so that you become more and more dependent on the renewable energy. The National Hydrogen Mission, the offshore wind policies, the battery energy storage. A lot of work is going on, a lot of research is going on the battery storage energy. The problem with these solar or with the wind is that it is dependent upon the time. It is dependent upon the kind of natural environment. The wind energy is not going to be the same all through. So you need to store that energy so that whenever needed, you can offset it, you can put it in the grid so that the grid can be stable. So this lot of work is going, lot of work in IITs, in various institutions are going on how to store the energy. There's a pump storage. Pump storage is something which has come up the new. There are a lot of pump storages are coming up. So you raise some water, store that water, and use that water for the generation of the energy in the night. So the solar can be used for pump storage, and or the wind can be used for the pump storage, and this can be used when more energy is needed in the night. You can use that pump storage energy for this. So a lot of research is going on because we are talking in terms of 2047, and India is now this is a hotbed for innovations, hotbed for startups. Then one sun, one world, and one grid. That the International Solar Alliance, on the initiative of India, the International Solar Alliance was set up in India itself, and it is I mean just increasing the membership. More and more nations are coming there, and once we have that one solar, one grid, it will be much easier to stabilize because the sun movement is across the globe. So you will be able to wherever the sun is there, that energy is getting manufactured, and that can go into the grid. The concept of the electrical grid, which you are aware, PM Kusum scheme, using the solar energy for the use of the farmers. Somebody said that agriculture was one of the, greenhouse gas producer. So now this through the Kusum scheme, rather than depending on the diesel, rather than depending on the diesel pumps, they can get onto the solar pumps, and this is being promoted in a big way. National action on the enhanced energy efficiency. Energy efficiency is another area which is the country is focusing on, so that whatever energy is saved, that much energy you can consider that much energy has been produced. So whether it is on the various kinds of the electrical gadgets, now they are all rated, platinum rated, gold rated, silver rated, or different kind of ratings are there. How much efficient is the particular gadget, whether it is the any kind of the personal gadget or a public gadget, that gadget is, how much efficient that is the focus of the country's research. Now I'm giving you this is just two slides to give you exposure of what urbanization is going on. Urbanization in our country, earlier we were mostly the rural country. But in the year 2011 census, now the next census is going to take place now, 2011 census, for the first time the decadal growth of the urban area was more than that of the rural area. And the projections are like this, that by now, today, the total population living in the urban area is close to 53 to 54 crores. Projections are by 2046, we are going to become major urban country. That is more than 50% of the population will be living in the urban areas. By 2050 or 51, our population will be something like 87 to 88 crores. We are going to add something like 30 to 35 crores in the next 2.5 decades. That is the kind of urbanization which is taking place. And this is also when where our definition of the urban is not the same as many other countries are following. If you follow that definition, then maybe our urbanization is already crossed more than 50%. When urbanization is taking place, what it means, people are migrating from the rural to the urban areas. They are looking for better job, they are looking for better quality of life, they are looking for better schooling for the children, they are looking for better health facilities. But once they land up there, they start finding difficulty in the traffic problem is there. Traffic congestion is there. They find problem in the housing. They find problem in the various kind of infrastructure. Even though they are able to earn more, but the quality of life may be compromised. There's a lot of unplanned developments, and there's a whole lot of initiatives are needed. I can take the whole couple of hours just only on this subject, the kind of challenges urbanization is offering, but yet India is coming with a lot of solutions. My almost 7.5 years in Ministry of Urban Development or Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs as Additional Secretary and Secretary, I was very fortunate to work on different kind of missions with the Swachh Bharat mission, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, that is Housing for All mission, Smart City mission, Amrit mission, that is Atal mission for rejuvenation and urban transformation, that is infrastructure, or urban livelihood mission. So all these missions are focusing and addressing different aspects. One of the major program is also the urban planning. Some of you are the students of urban management. Urban planning I consider the most important, the key to whole urban management. If you have planned your urban area well, if you have planned in a well so that it is the transport, the infrastructure, the master plan, they are all integrated with each other, then the life becomes much more simpler. I mean, now the whole concept of urban planning is changing. You just walk to your work. You can cycle to your work. You don't have to take long distance train or bus or your own car. So this urban management is most important, and that is the kind of challenge which is coming up for the new generation. Our urbanization is happening in a manner that more and more big cities are coming up. We had just around 45%, more than 5 lakh cities. By 35, we'll have more than 60% of them. We had our more than 50 lakh cities were only 6. By 2009, it's going to be more than 13. Our million plus cities were only say 50 plus. It is going to be more than 150 by 2035. So our more and more is the cities are growing. Towns are becoming bigger. Municipalities are becoming bigger. Municipal corporations are becoming bigger and bigger. And they are offering big challenges. Big challenges in terms of various things required for the human being for them to have good quality of life. So we need to address them to the proper planning and to proper implementation. Our growth is almost like 2 to 3%. The some of the measures which are being taken is, as I mentioned, some of the missions which were there. I will give it to you, or if you ask some specific question, I would like to. I'll be very happy to answer whether it is smart or sustainable development, Amrut or urban Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana (SBM), or also the housing, whether whatever we are constructing, is that construction climate resilient? Is that construction sustainable? Is it producing less carbon? So for that, LEED or Griha ratings are there. The buildings have to get the LEED or Griha rating, and now this has become very. I mean, like the way sustainability has taken the front place. Now many companies, they are proud of showing they are got the Griha rating of 5 star or 4 star or 3 star, or the different lead ratings of the platinum, gold, silver, and all that. The green transport. Transport is another contributor to the greenhouse gases, a major contributor. The green transport, the fuel emission standards. Now we are implementing the BS6, which is like Euro 6. And we are further, I mean, not that the BS6 is the final. We are further working on going for the next level. So reducing the emission becomes one of the major tasks in the transport industry. The green fuel sources, various kinds of sources which are required is now for the first time biofuel is getting blended with a normal fuel. Different sources, I mean sustainable aviation fuel that is also come. I mean now you must have heard about this. So a lot of new fuels are coming so that there is less and less carbon emissions. There's the whole green automotive manufacturing. The government is promoting through the PLI scheme that those who come out with such manufacturing the electrical vehicles or such vehicles with the green hydrogen run vehicles, then there is a PLI scheme. There is a lot of incentive there. The green transport utilization. The Ministry of Urban and Housing has come with a scheme of PM E-Bus Seva. The cities are given incentive to have electrical vehicles. There is incentive by the Transport Ministry for the electrical transport vehicles. The regulatory incentives, like, I mean, if you use this, you get like the license fees is reduced. Various kinds of incentives are being given by the states and as well as the central government. For the sustainable transport, because transport is one of the major contributor to the greenhouses. This public transport, I mean, more and more use of the public transport will reduce the greenhouse effect. How we can promote that? One big example is the metro system. You are aware the metro system recently crossed more than 1,000 kilometers. Now 1,036 kilometers of metro are running in 22 cities. Another more than 950 kilometers of metro are getting constructed in 21 cities. More than 1 crore passengers are running every day on the metro system. More than 1 crore. I was fortunate. It was my great opportunity to work in that ministry, and I have been instrumental in moving these things forward. In fact, I had kept a target of by 15th August 2022, and that was my challenge. If the COVID was not there, maybe this 1,000 kilometers of metro and 1 crore plus passengers, they are already gone across 80 lakhs. We are already crossed 800 kilometers when the COVID struck, and that brought the whole thing down. But I'm very happy to see very recently more than 1,000 kilometers of metro and more than 1 crore passengers per day on the metro system. The regional rapid transport system, I had that great opportunity to start that thing from Delhi to Meerut for the first time. Delhi to Meerut, that 82 kilometers, 55 kilometers is already operational. And that is going to take just 55 minutes to reach almost like 82 kilometers. Stopping at 15 stations at different places. They are all going to be the development hubs. I mean, the transit-oriented development. If you maybe the students of urban management, if they've studied the transit development TOD, transit-oriented development concept, then you will know that every station is going to be hub. So there is, I mean, it is going to boost the regional economic growth. At the same time, much faster transit from Delhi to Meerut. And that is the need of the hour, whether it is Delhi to some other place like Delhi to Panipat, Delhi to Alwar. These are all being planned. I mean, you see this, the public transport system, the way country is entering into it. All the transport system, for the first time, national waterways, they is being promoted in a big way. The transport planning, I mean, normally earlier the city's plans were we prepared a master plan, we never bothered about the transport. We had some little ideas on the transport. Now we made it a mandate that when preparing a master plan, the transport plan should be superimposed on it. Infrastructure plans should be superimposed on it. Now all the plans under the Amrut scheme, it was one of the reforms which we promoted, which we pushed, that every Amrut city comes on the GIS master plan, GIS plan. If it is a GIS plan, it becomes so easy that you can have different layers of the other infrastructure laid over it. The traffic management, the whole lot of, I mean, you must have heard about ITMS, Integrated Traffic Management System. The whole lot of the lot of new innovations are coming, the new startups are coming. They are coming so that there is a sustainable transport. There is a integrated one mode, another mode is seamlessly integrated so that people don't have to run here and there, and that reduces the carbon emission. The parking and the tolls. Parking is another area which causes so much of the parking. When the people are parking their vehicles right on the road, it reduces the speed of the vehicle, and that increases the emission. Now you have got the concept of different kinds of the mechanical parking, and that is proliferating in a big way. And I can see that in the time to come, you are going to have more and more mechanical. It's like robotics. The car can come, it can go and station at one place. Just whenever you want, the car will come at your place. So in a small space, you can have more and more stack parking. The green manufacturing is something which some of your students will be focused on. The blue economy you must have heard about. The regenerative economy. Regenerative economy where you regenerate. Like even in the metro system, we used to do regenerative. When the train is stopping, in that period, when the metro is stopping, we regenerate, we use that energy for the sake of, that can be used the charging of the battery. Then the life cycle assessment. This is a very, very important concept for the those who are students of the sustainable development. The life cycle assessment. Sometimes we are concerned about only upfront costs, only upfront liabilities. The life cycle assessment goes up to when it will ultimately, like in the nature. In the nature of the nature is there is nothing is best. Nothing is best. Everything is eaten away by everything is circular. Everything is cyclic. You have heard about the circular economy. The circular economy concept comes from the nature. In nature there is no waste. Everything is consumed by the next level. So in this life cycle assessment, from starting to closing, this total cost, what is the cost to the nature, what is the cost to the planet, what is the cost to the society, what is the cost to your economics. So all these things to be assessed. That's when you start doing it, then you are more focused on sustainability, the circular economy, and the cradle to cradle. Cradle to cradle is again starting to the end. It's the A to Z complete cycle. The other measures like mission life. Have you heard about the mission life? Can somebody mention this mission life? Please raise your hand.
Uh, Good evening, sir. My name is Swati. I am the student of MBASM first year, batch of 2025-27. So, sir, Mission Life stands for Lifestyle for Environment. So, our Honorable Prime Minister is one of the biggest promoters of this mission, wherein we try to involve the communities and the individual and the household levels for following an environment that is sustainable, adopting practices that cater to the bottom line of people, planet, and profit, and follow practices which are cost effective at the same time good for an environment.
Okay, can you give one example from your own life where you are following this life?
Sir, so one of the examples would be using of bicycles instead of cars or scooters.
Very good, excellent example. Some other example?
Also, sir, one more thing which I have usually seen in our campus is that most of the people are carrying cotton or jute tote bags to carry their stuff around the university
Very good.
instead of plastic.
So you lifestyle, change your lifestyle so that you damage the environment in the least manner. Very good. Very good. Excellent. So if you start thinking in terms of this life, you can do a great deal. The Jal Jeevan Mission, I'm not going to get dwell more on it. I would like to take your questions. Water conservation again. Natural farming, you must all be knowing about the natural farming. I will take questions because the time is, I just saw the time. Precision farming is something very, very important. What is precision farming? Any of you? Yes, please, go ahead. I think somebody else, his mic is going to somebody else. Yes, precision farming.
Sir, good evening, sir. My name is Likita. I'm from MBASM 25-27 batch. So, precision farming is that understanding the crop's need and specifically providing those needs with technological advances so that it increases the productivity as well as we do not go with providing more than necessary resources which are required by the crop.
Okay,
To
very
be
good.
precise.
Very good. Thank you. So for this, what is needed is every plot must have its address. Say when I was Chief Secretary in Uttar Pradesh, we tried to get 100% of the agricultural plots their georeference. If you have the georeference of every plot, then you can address what is the soil condition of that plot, how much of water is needed, what is the fertilizer need, what is the pesticide, everything you can predict about the plot, and that becomes the precision farming. Once you do the precision farming, otherwise you do the broadcasting. Like for irrigation, you put the water all through. It may not be needed. The water is needed only for particular plant. So you can provide that much of water through either through the sprinkler or through say drip irrigation. That's the precision farming. You can provide that much of nutrition to the plant as it is needed. So the cost comes down. The cost of input comes down through the use of technology, and that is what I've learned through the smart technology in the smart city system. That some additional cost, the gain become far more. PM Gati Shakti portal. PM Gati Shakti portal, you are aware? Any of you? PM Gati Shakti? Yes, here. Samne. PM Gati Shakti.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Kumar Ayush. I'm from MBA UMG first year, and I think it's. I'm not sure, but I would like to take a guess. It's about a construction of roads and connecting roads, highways. Gati Shakti.
No, somebody else can try. See, when say suppose if a road is to be planned, if a road is to be planned, how do you plan the road? You know that you have to connect this city to this city. The road can go straight, road can go this way, road can go this way. There are various ways in which you can take that road. So one is the geometry; it has to be efficient geometry. At the same time, what is most important, you cannot go inside the forest. You cannot go inside various other kinds of things. There are a lot of restrictions are there. Is it okay? So if you have this whole thing mapped on the georeference map, and you are well aware of that this is a forest, this is your maybe river, this is your maybe a pond, this is maybe agriculture field. So you can plan your infrastructure in such a manner if the georeference plots are available, and who is the owner of this. If you get the whole thing digitally, and now today the word of digital word makes everything possible. The PM Gati Shakti means you have the whole area plotted on the georeference map and complete who is the owner, what is the ownership, what is the kind of the plot which is there, and then you can plan any kind of infrastructure which used to take a long time, sometimes years. Like when we were young officers, like district magistrate or sub-division magistrate, it used to take years for planning any road, and you are not even aware whether you are adopting the right geometry. But now, if all these things are available on the GIS map, it is very easy. In just in couple of hours and maybe couple of days, you are able to plan big roads, maybe very big rail infrastructure or anything. Otherwise, you can make something in the river, and the river, once you go on the ground, you find it's a river. You cannot construct it. So a lot of corrections were required. So this PM Gati Shakti has made the whole planning of the urban infrastructure, when I say urban, and not only urban, infrastructure, all kind of infrastructure, so simple. It has reduced your efforts, and it has made it much more efficient. And you can take the path which is more sustainable path. I'll end with this carbon footprint. I mean, even though we are talking so much about the sustainability, our total carbon footprint is only 2.3 billion tons. Whereas if you take the China, that is 9.9. This is the last report which I dug in. USA is 4.7. That means per capita is much less. Still, our commitment is by 2070 we have to make it a zero emission, and we can do that only through the different kinds of measures, which I mean, whether it is a transport or energy or urban management or manufacturing. Some of the impacts, how the carbon emission is going to do this, lot of things which are invisible. That's how we have shown in this presentation as a it's an iceberg. What is visible in the to you is only tip of the iceberg. What is happening is all below the sea. All that which you cannot see beneath the water. What is beneath the water? How much is the health hazard it is causing? Like when there's like I come from Delhi, and in Delhi from the month of November to February, it is very difficult to breathe. How much of the health hazard? AQI is so bad. 200, 300, sometimes more than 400 also. It diminishes the quality of life. I mean, it becomes so dark in Delhi. When you go even in the morning, it becomes so morning, evening, lunchtime. You find so dark. The whole quality of life is challenged. The climate change, what is unfolding today, you don't know what is going to unfold years after. So it is our commitment for our future generations that we must work on the sustainability front. I'll have this is a speech from the Prime Minister. I'm not going to read it. You can read it. The presentation will be there. It covers almost all the aspects. If India has to become Atmanirbhar by 2047, it has become Viksit Bharat by 2047, then we should take such measures which are on the path of the sustainability. So thanks a lot for this attention. Now I'll take your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that deeply insightful and inspiring talk. It has truly enriched our understanding of the pathways towards a sustainable and developed India by 2047. We are now open to questions. I request Professor Sutapapati, Dean, School of Sustainability, to briefly discuss the essence and moderate the question and answer session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. It was almost a master class combining all the three programs. Thank you so much. May I have a big round of applause for sir? And also, our MBA students are used to quizzes, and thank you for conducting real-time live quizzes. Now, I would open the forum for questions. Students, please introduce yourselves, and you may ask in briefly and make it very clear, simple questions. Thank you. Over to you.
Good evening, sir. I'm Alan, a first year student of MBSM batch of 25-27. My question to you is India, Alan, Alan Matthew. Uh, so my question to you is India has set a target for power generation from renewable energy sources to 500 gigawatt by 2030. According to you, sir, what is the biggest challenge that we will face during this energy transition from coal to solar or wind power, especially in smaller towns and villages? And how can we, I mean, these local communities be part of this change?
No, no.
Second row here.
Good evening, sir. I'm Anushka Singh. I'm a first year student of MBA Urban Management and Governance, batch 25-27. Thank you so much for your valuable insights. And my question to you is that you talked about the building sustainability ratings like LEED or green. So, do you see a future where building sustainability ratings like LEED or green can be integrated into housing schemes like PMAY? And also, the property taxes or the user charges can be linked to a building's carbon footprint. Like, for example, the energy efficient buildings could be incentivized, and the ones who are inefficient ones can be disincentivized. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Neha Bhagat, and I'm a first year MBA student of Sustainability Management. And my question to you is with respect to smart cities. You talked about India's smart city mission, and we can see that it is already deploying LED streetlights. How can we integrate IoT sensors, 5G technology, similar to what Germany is implementing in their streetlights? What are the drawbacks, or what are the things that we can do in order to deploy the same?
Question from behind.
So, good afternoon, sir. My name is Aditi Bajpayee. I'm a second year student of School of Human Settlements, and my question to you is it is estimated that with 600 million Indians expected to live in cities by 2036, how can urban planning keep pace with this rapid urbanization?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Unaiza Abid, a student, a second year MBA SM student. My question is regarding the smart city mission again. It has concluded in the March of 2025. Could you please tell us how we have progressed, where we have failed, and how are we going to sustain the already built projects?
Good evening, sir. My name is Julius Musari. I'm a second year MBA in Sustainability Management student. Sir, my question is related to water security. Sir, under the Jal Jeevan mission, the goal is to provide clean drinking water to every household. Har ghar nal, har ghar jal. Sir, however, we can see that in today's time there are a lot of challenges involved in it with rapid urbanization and climate change induced droughts and over exploitation of water resources due to industrialization and everything. Sir, where do you see the balance in the context of Viksit Bharat uh, for the large scale industrial development with sustainable water resource management?
Professor Tathagat.
Yeah. Um, Thank you for a very interesting talk, sir. My name is Professor Tathagat Chatterjee, Professor of Urban Management and Governance, School of Human Settlements. My question is also related to the Smart Cities mission, which was had a very bold vision of setting up integrated command and control centers in all 100 cities, and it was a very big step towards digitalizing urban management. But the subsequent mission, that is the National Urban Digital Mission, has got a very low budget allocation, and several cities are having problems in running the integrated command and control center. So, what are your views about the future of digitalizing urban management?
One from this side.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Nupur Sharma, first year student of MBA Urban Management and Governance. Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights. My question to you is cities promote electrical buses, cycle lanes, and walking streets. People still prefer private cars and bikes. How can public transport be made easier and more attractive choice? Thank you.
Last question, please.
Good evening, sir. My name is Likita. I'm a student from second year MBA SM. First year student from MBA SM, sorry. So my question is, renewable energy and affordable energy is the highest performing index of our country according to SDG index. So, being a professional working with, having worked with different ministries of government, what are the different challenges that are needed to be addressed so that we perform the same in other SDG goals as well?
Thank you. Yeah, over to sir. Sir, please.
Well, thanks a lot. I mean, the kind of questions which were coming up and the number of hands which were raised, that clearly show that you had a good sumptuous lunch and you are all attentive. Because normally after the lunch, I mean, some lunches are very sleepy, which makes you sleepy, and you sleep. So you are all very attentive. My hearty congratulations to all of you. You are a very good students, and I wish you all the very best. Maybe, I mean, I'm not able to take. I mean, the hands were getting raised from all sides, and both girls and boys, they were all raising hands. I'll request Kadri ji, Sudapa ji, and Vaishali ji, because they're all experts. They will be able to answer, satiate all your queries sometimes. And if they have something extra, they can discuss with me and come back. So I'm not able to take that questions in paucity of time. We'll be answering some of the questions which you have addressed right now. That may, satisfy more of the queries which might be coming from you, possibly. So let me start with the smart city, because maximum number of questions came from the smart city, then came from the transport, and then from the renewable energy. The smart city. Well, what do you understand by the smart city? Smart city is it's a journey. There is nothing called a smart city. It is not like if you just put this bulb and the switch, then you switch on and the bulb is on, you start giving a light, switch off and the light is off. It's nothing like this. You do this and it becomes a smart city. A smart city is a journey. And India was undertaking that journey for the first time on the instance of Honorable Prime Minister, that in fact he started when he was prior to the 2014 in his election campaign. He was talking about the smart city and we didn't know much about the smart city. We have heard about it, but we didn't know much about it. When the task was given to my ministry, I was additional secretary in the ministry. We didn't know what the smart city is. It took us 1 year. Lot of consultation from the different embassies, from different missions from abroad and various places which has become smart. Then we came with a smart city mission which was launched on 25th of June 2015. It talked about two approaches. One approach was area-based development, another approach was pan city development. Something which is going to impact the life of every citizen in a city, and also going to impact the life of a particular area, because we don't have enough funds. If we had money was not a problem, then maybe you can take the whole city. Like Bhubaneswar, I take example. Bhubaneswar was one of the cities which was taken in the very first. This is first time in the history of Indian development administration that challenge was taken as a mode for selection of the city. It was not all through till 2014, 2015 when this mission was launched. All programs were distributed to the states, distributed to the cities based on their population, based on the how backward they were, or maybe various other indices, but not based on how much capable you were to implement that program. So the first thing we heard about the challenge mode, and we did with the Bloomberg, and we came out with a protocol through which we had the challenge. And Bhubaneswar, I would like to congratulate. This was one of the cities which came in the very first challenge mode. When the 10 cities were selected, this Bhubaneswar was selected. Now, has Bhubaneswar become a completely smart city? No. There was a particular area which was taken up, and there's something which is for the pan city, for the whole city. And this was decided by the people for the first time. Let me tell you, there have been so many things, and Mr. Shashank is there, participatory program, and various other modes of engagement in public were there. But this was a complete public engagement, where public was deciding which area we are going to take, what kind of change we are going to take, because ultimately you have to fund it. So, how much you would like to aspire? What kind of thing you would like to make the city? And what is a smart? We did all these things for 1 year. We came up with a smart city mission. The whole guidelines, you can read it, available on the website. You can read it. But when it was being launched by the Honorable Prime Minister, he summed it up in just 3 words. What is a smart? To get more from less. To make it more clear, suppose you have got, say, 1,000 liters of water and you have to serve 20 people. How do you serve that water to the 20 people so that all of them feel satisfied? So, in so far, we have been focusing all on the infrastructure. Now the focus was on the outcome, and the outcome which will give the best satisfaction of the citizens. So now on the infrastructure, there was going to be a layer of smartness, the layer of technology, which will manage the infrastructure so well, so that optimally this particular aspect is distributed to everybody. The whole technology concept came from the smart city. And then came, this 3 words, just remember this. like three words is getting more from less anywhere. So now, for example, Professor mentioned about ICCC, Integrated Command and Control Center. It is like the brain and the nervous system of the city. It can sense through the IoT. Somebody mentioned about the IoT. Everything can be. IoT is through that, it's like it is a sensor. You can sense and transmit that information that can be analyzed and you can utilize. And in your own state, the state of Odisha, I will request you when you go to Puri to visit Jagannath Ji. I'm going there tomorrow morning. When you go to Jagannath Ji, you also visit. There is a concept which was started by the Honorable Prime Minister, 24 by 7 water supply and drink from tap. What is 24 by water supply? 24 by 7 water supply means any time of the day when you open the tap, you will get the water. You'll be surprised, young boys, you'll be surprised that our cities had 450 liters of water per head available. Various cities, I will not name, various cities were had the 450 liters water available when the prescribed is only 130 liters per head. But they were supplying water only say 4 hours in the morning and 4 hours in the evening, or 2 hours in the morning and 4 hours in the evening. So there was a uh, cut on the water supply because the infrastructure was not able to support. Now in the city of Puri, 24 by 7 water is supplied. And it is not only water supplied, but it is also good enough. The quality is assured to the level that you don't need to go to the RO. You can drink from tap. Any tap you open and you can drink it. Such a good quality of water is there. And how that is possible? Through the technology. And what is how it has made a difference to the human life? You don't require that black tanks which are there on the top of the building. That storage tank is not required. If it is 24 by 7, you don't need to store it. You don't need to store in your houses big storage is water storage. You don't require these water bottles. The plastic water bottle which is required, you can drink from tap. See how simple it has made to the life. And the biggest change it has brought is when the water consumption we prescribed from the CPHO is 130 liters per head per day. The consumption goes down to 80 liters. So the water consumption now you will be extracting much lesser water. You are going to treating much lesser water. The cost comes down. The cost of this infrastructure layer, this infrastructure which has been there. I mean, it is not so simple. Don't think that it's like you just put a switch and you have the drink from tap and 24 by 7. I had to work very hard. Work with Mati, and then I had held a conference here in the month of November 2021. I called everybody from all over the country in the city of Puri. You see, if he is able to do it, it can be done in the whole country. Every city can do it. And I'm very happy to announce that 24 cities in Odisha, because I'm sitting here in Odisha, they already have the drink from tap and the 24 by 7 water supply. And we made it when Amrut 2.0 was being, the guidelines were being prepared. We made it incentivize this 24 by 7 water supply. As a Chief Secretary of Uttar Pradesh, I made sure that Ayodhya, which is the city of Sri Ram, the Prabhu Sri Ram temple, you are all aware. The Prabhu Sri Ram temple there, Ayodhya, we said 100% the whole city will have 24 by 7 and drink from tap. We already sanctioned, the work is going on. It is very soon. Ayodhya will become 24 by 7 and drink from tap city. We also had in Uttar Pradesh, we call Keval cities. Kanpur, Allahabad, Varanasi, Lucknow and all, Agra. All these cities, the Keval cities, they will all be 24 by 7 watt. This is all done. One-time expenditure is more than 10 to 15%. This is the learning from the smart city. Learning from the smart cities, the roads. You find the road is constructed and you complain the next day it is dug for something to go. We have a, I mean, we created a vent through which this can go, all kinds of facilities can go. So there is a learning from smart road, smart water, smart sewer system, a smart drainage system, a smart energy system, a smart education system. You are aware how this education thing. I mean, came the COVID and everybody started getting education through online. Smart is all these things we started in smart city. Now the question is, smart city mission is over. on 31st of March 2025. We have spent something like 1.7 lakh crore on this scheme. The citizens' life, the many things. I mean, you could see this smart city mission. I mean, we had this Mahakumbh in 2025 January in Prayagraj. Most of things were being controlled through the ICCC. But will these gains just wither away like this? No, it should become the learning from the smart city to become a movement. And when I'm saying that another 35 crores are coming in the next 22 years, all new development should become smart. We should spend a little bit more and make sure it is all sustainable development. That is a task which the ministry is working and they need to work. The smart city, I mean, there is so much of learning from, I mean, the whole smart city, I can speak on how we did, making our food, eat smart food, have your neighborhood becomes much more smarter. How you can have the transport for all through the use of technology. This is all use of technology on the basic layer of infrastructure. Infrastructure is very essential, but that infrastructure has to be utilized in the most optimum manner. Well, about the next thing which was being asked is about transport system. Well, about the transport system, again, the transport system, one is electrical vehicles are being introduced, metro, RRTs, those things are coming up. But most important is the urban planning. When I spoke about the transit-oriented development, why I mentioned about the transit-oriented development? As a student of the urban planning, you are aware, when the metro is being developed, or maybe BRT is being developed, or maybe fast mode of transport is being developed on any mode, there are various other things, other possibilities are there, then the settlement should be such that most of your requirements are meted out in that small area, maybe in 500 meters to 800 meters, where you can walk, you can cycle, and only for some big requirement you can take the mass rapid transit and go to the main stations. Like there is, every city has got its own core area, which is called the main business district. The main business district you need to go only once in a while, maybe a few times in the year, maximum once in a month, not more than that. Rest all your requirement, your job requirement, your work requirement, commercial, entertainment, everything should happen. School, health, everything should happen in that 800 to 1 kilometer of area. That is the transit-oriented development. The concept of the redevelopment. If you go through the concept, I mean, those who are the students of planning, the cities are becoming old and they have to sustain more and more population. How that more population is possible? It has been proved in our country. You go to Delhi and you see that this East Kirwai Nagar. You see the various colonies which have been developed, and it is very easy to do in the government colonies. Now, for the private colonies, this concept has been developed. People can get together and collaborate to make things happen so that you go for high rise and improve the quality of life. Improve the quality of life. That is possible. So the transport is not only providing a transport, making sure that transport is not needed at all, and transport is needed only occasionally. Now the question is, how do you go into the public transport? Because most of us, you find, I mean, like today when I was coming to this place, the time was increasing because of a lot of congestion on the road. Everybody has their own car. Singapore has its own solution. Singapore says that you can't buy the car. You can buy only through the auction. And in auction, you know, the car costs maybe say $6,000. But the auction price, the auction premium, the auction is for the premium, not on the price of the car. The premium could be maybe $10,000. So another 150 to 160% is the premium cost. So owning a car in Singapore becomes very difficult. That is not possible here in India at present. So what we can do? We can make our public transport much more comfortable, because nobody would like to travel in a car and have that psychological trauma of staying at a place or maybe not moving say by inches. So that kind of a psychological trauma which will come, or maybe inhaling a lot of fumes and gases which are, I mean, not conducive to your good health. So public transport should be made so good. You should have, and that is how these e-buses which are coming, they are low floor buses. They are much more comfortable. You feel good to sit in the bus. It's just a question of coming out of your that mindset. I said the mindset is there that public transport is mostly for the poor people. No, if you go to Delhi and you go to any of the metro cities and see the kind of people who are traveling in the metro systems, all kinds of people who are in the high jobs or maybe say the blue collar job, maybe some vendors, maybe all kinds of people are traveling in the metro system. So now if we have only thing that supply is not enough. Our cities don't have enough number. If the city of Bhubaneswar requires 1,000 electric buses, they may be having 100 buses, 900 gap is there. It's all because of finance. Maybe we are slowly and slowly, because I have worked in the ministry for a long time, there's a big challenge. We have to come out with a model where we can have more and more these buses, electric buses or such buses which are low floor buses, more comfortable buses. People want convenience, they want comfort, they want certainty. That if I want to reach here, I should reach here in time. I was in Lucknow. Lucknow, now there's a lot of people traveling on the metro system. Why? Because there is a certainty. Otherwise, you get into the jam and you don't know when you're able to reach. So, but it's a huge challenge. It's very easier said than done. It's a huge challenge. It will take some time, but India is adopting that path. I can assure you. When the Prime Minister has said that India is going for the zero emission by 2070, slowly and slowly, I mean, people are trying hard to get into that mode. It will take some time, but it is moving much faster. That is how, you know, the number of cities in 2014, number of cities which were there on the metro system, just 5. You know how many cities are there on metro system now? 30. How many kilometers were there in metro system in 2014? 52 kilometers. How many kilometers now? I mean, 250 kilometers not operational. Total. How many kilometers are operational now? 1036. How many kilometers still under construction? 951. So this is, you see, the speed is, you see the one mantra, the two major mantra of the government. One is the reform, perform, and transform. That you have to change. I mean, you see the kind of reforms happening in different sectors. To take nuclear energy from the private sector, it requires a lot of guts and courage, and the government has taken that decision. So a lot of reforms are taking place. Reform, perform, and transform. And second mantra is skill, speed, and scale. Skill, scale, and speed. So that means fast movement. So the number of, I mean, the way things are moving, it is moving towards that big goal which is there by 2070 mission. The challenges in the power sector. I mean, the first, I think Alan mentioned about this challenge in the power sector, especially in the rural sector. Yes, I mean, rural sector, definitely nuclear energy is not being met. But once the energy has been manufactured, it has been produced, the grid doesn't know which source it is coming from. The biggest challenge which the renewable sources are having, the grid stability. They are, I mean, there is a peak and there is a zero. Like the solar is a good sun, you have more solar energy. Good wind, more wind energy. Wind goes down, wind energy goes down. So what is the biggest challenge is how to store this energy so that you can stabilize the grid, because our requirement is not only peaks, but our requirement is how you are able to provide that energy in a stable manner. And that is why, even though we are manufacturing say 242 plus gigawatt of the renewable energy, the actual realization is, I mean, we are today we are producing more than 50%. You know how much is the contribution of the fossil fuel today in the our consumption? 72%. Our production is say more than 50% of the renewable energy. but the contribution in the utilization is only say around 27 to 28%, because we need battery storage. The country is investing a lot. I mean, I'm aware because I keep visiting some of the places. A lot of work is going on. Our challenge is how to manufacture such batteries and manufacture such battery with the material which is available in our country, not imported from some places where it may be stopped. We are not dependent. We don't want to be dependent. You heard about, again, I'll request you to kindly hear the speech of 15th August 2025, where the Prime Minister is spoken so, I mean, so intensively about country being Atmanirbhar. Once you become Atmanirbhar and once you become a self-reliant, it is a goal towards, it will help you to reach towards the goal of Viksit Bharat 2047. So this is a challenge. I mean, the nuclear energy definitely going through the grid, but for the rural area, PM Bijli Ghar, most Bijli Yojana. I mean, this program is getting popular. The popular of the solar energy, that is getting popular. The scheme of the Kusum, like as the chief secretary, I was really pushing very hard to get the Kusum. I mean, the farmers to utilize the solar energy for the purposes of the pumps. I mean, convert diesel pumps into the solar-driven pump. So a lot of action is taking on. Yet, I mean, this water. I mean, this is storage through the water. That is also there. Many technologies are coming up. Lead and Griha. Yes, it's a good question which one of you asked about the lead and Griha. I think Anushka asked this question. How to make this more popular? Already lead and Griha ratings are being utilized by big buildings. There's a corporate building. You know, the parliament is 5-star rated. The new parliament building, I mean, I was blessed with by the God, I got that opportunity to work on that and we made it 5-star. New parliament is a 5-star building. So many corporates, many big buildings today, I mean, the new building which has come up, Kartavya Bhavan, that's also star rated. So this is a mandate, big buildings are coming up, but definitely not the smaller buildings or the individual buildings which are people are getting this rating, because it requires a lot of efforts. As you make things ease of doing business, as you make things much simpler, that's what I used to talk to you. Maybe Kadri may be knowing. They, the institutions which do this lead and the VIA rating. If you make things simpler, adoption will be much more. Adoption is going to be much more. So lead and Griha rating, it is coming up, but it will take some time to become more popular for individuals to accept that. I think I have tried to answer all your questions. There is one question, the last question, which I think which is left is 600 million people. Yes, it is not by 2026. The projections are 600 million people. Today is around 53 to 54 crores. Like then 530 to 540 million is the population today. By 2030, it is going to be 600 million. So what is that we are doing for the urban planning? Urban planning is a very weak area. Government of India instituted a committee to recommend on the urban planning. The recommendations were there, but still not been accepted. I'm not aware what is happening to that. But this is one area which requires by the central government and the state government a big focus. Because if you do a good planning, you can utilize this, because land is so precious. Land in the urban area is still so precious. You don't want to capture the land from the rural area. Even if you want rural population dependent on the farms to migrate to the urban, because you want to improve the productivity. You want more and more people to be skilled and utilized for the manufacturing and services and not be in the agriculture, because agriculture is again getting mechanized. There's more and more technology, as I mentioned about the precision farming, more and more technology going to the agriculture. But at the same time, we don't want to capture the land because we have to feed so many countries, and India has got, such a good land. So our focus should be on the urban planning. And urban planning, which will make, whether it is the sanitation, whether it is water, whether it is the other transport, all these things can be integrated and very beautifully integrated so that, I mean, to provide people a good quality of life, produce much lesser carbon emissions, and provide people a good, healthy, and sustainable life. So I think I have tried to answer all of it. Whatever is left out, I think I'll request the three ladies to work on it. It was so nice. In fact, I was very happy to see the kind of enthusiasm all of you have. So I wish you all the very best. You are the young leaders. You are the one who are going to make India become Viksit Bharat by 2040. You are the one who are going to reap the benefits of India becoming Viksit Bharat. Not only you will make it Viksit Bharat, but you are going to reap the benefits of India becoming Viksit Bharat. Let me tell you, as a young officer, when I was going to the different countries, every time I went to any country outside, I felt like, why can't this be India? In fact, many things in my responsibilities, I try to bring, say, many things which I could see outside, and it should happen in India. And it has happened in India. So if you can have that kind of commitment, I think we are so powerful. We are so powerful. Our country is with the thousands years of the civilization, the thousands years of so many things. Our mind is ready to take that, but you have to understand the Panch Prana. You have to shed the colonial mindset and take the pride of our own heritage and take a vow that will develop inclusive, Atmanirbhar and Viksit Bharat as our responsibility. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
We have now come to the end of the very enriching afternoon. We thank you, sir, for your sharing your wisdom as we go forward on our learning journeys. May I now request Professor Kajri Mishra to kindly felicitate our esteemed speaker and present a small token to remember us.
So, boys, why haven't, friends, why did I open it up? For the two reasons. That lady that give me example about the life, mission life. I wanted to teach you mission life right from here. In two ways. One, you should all know what it is. So it's very good to see. It's a beautiful Raghurajpur, I think. Raghurajpur painting. So thanks a lot, Kajriji, and thanks a lot, Papa and Vaishali. But it was wrapped and was not needed. Let me tell you, I mean, as a secretary, urban housing, I was promoting Swachh Bharat mission like my prayer. I mean, you do the prayer to the God. I was promoting in the whole country the Swachh Bharat mission that almost for 7.5 years as a distance secretary, I was involved right from, I mean, envisioning, I mean, preparing the whole guidelines and then promoting. And as a secretary, it was a full time, I mean, Swachh Bharat mission. I used to tell people that when they say book is launched, you find that some five people are there on the the dais, and everybody thinks it is all wrapped. So before the launch, everybody will unpack it, and you will have all these waste sitting here. So in the photograph, what will come? These waste, and it is an unnecessary waste. So there are three principles of mission life: reduce. That is, whatever you can reduce, please reduce. It is unnecessary. I mean, it was made compulsory when I was Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, and also as a Chief Secretary Uttar Pradesh, that in any launch, only one book will be wrapped and not wrapped with paper. One small strip of, say, beautiful, maybe some string or maybe some a fita, that is a ribbon, either through the ribbon or this, and the chief guest will only be asked to open that ribbon. So only small, you have reduced from so many papers only to that. Reuse, beautifully said by that that lady, that now people are using the jute bags, or people are using, say, this cloth bags. I mean, if you stop using this plastic bag and use come through, and where do you find? You find in the garbage. That is something which is the most visible thing. And recycle. Now all those things which were there, I mean, now the plastics, you can make cloth out of plastic. You can make various utilities out of plastics. And we all take learning from the nature. As I mentioned to you, there is no waste in the nature. All waste is created by us, whether through the manufacturing, through the various habits. The nature eats away any product. I mean, which is a product will be eaten away by somebody, some part of the nature. The cycle. I mean, you've heard about the carbon cycle. You must have heard about the carbon dioxide, oxygen cycle, water cycle. Everything is cyclic, circular. So should be our life, and that is mission life. Okay. So thanks a lot for such a beautiful topic. And thank you all for being so attentive, listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. To formally conclude the session, may I now invite Professor Vaishali Singh, Acting Dean, School of Governance and Public Affairs, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you. A very good evening to everyone present here. On behalf of XIM University, it is my honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks at the close of today's inspiring university talk, Sustainable Development for Viksit Bharat, organized by the School of Human Settlements in collaboration with School of Sustainability and School of Governance and Public Affairs. At the outset, we extend our deepest gratitude to Shri D.S. Mishra, former Secretary, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India, for delivering such an enlightening as well as inspiring lecture. We are especially grateful to our Reverend Father VC for his visionary leadership, to our Father Registrar for his constant support and encouragement. I would also like to give a special heartfelt thanks to Professor Kachari Mishra, Dean School of Human Settlements, for facilitating the collaboration with two schools and also for delivering the welcome note. I extend my gratitude to Professor Sutapa Pati, Dean School of Sustainability, for her excellent summing up of the talk and for leading an engaging Q&A session. A special word of appreciation goes to Professor Shraddha and Professor Nalin from School of Human Settlements, whose careful planning and coordination ensured the smooth organization of this event. I also thank all the faculty members, program officers, staff for their presence and support. Last but not the least, thanks to all the students from all the three schools who have listened attentively, like Sir said, and also participated actively in today's talk. With that, I once again thank everyone for making this event very impactful. And as a takeaway message from today's talk, let us all take pride in the future potential of India to achieve the goal of Viksit Bharat. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. With this, we come to the close of today's university talk. On behalf of XIM University, I once again extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speaker, the distinguished deans, faculty members, and all participants for making this event truly memorable. We now invite our guests, deans, and faculty members to join Shri Mishra in the green room for tea and snacks. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening ahead.
I'm going to take the privilege of a last word to thank all the students, the two MCs, and all the other students who helped organize this, without whose help this could not have gone off so well. So, thank you all.
I also request our guests, deans, and faculty members to stay for a bit for a picture. I invite faculty members to be on stage.